This is how I made my new song, The Mess That I Am.
The mess that I am, doing the best that I can, in the mess where I stand, best that I can.
A bit of a backstory before we get into this. I wrote this song at a time when I was feeling both horrible and nothing at the same time, and it was for such a prolonged time that I was starting to get really, really scared. I've dealt with depression and anxiety and like suicidal ideation and stuff like that for years. I've been in some like pretty dark places, and I felt stupid because this wasn't as like painful or dark or depressing, but it had just been like going for so long. I was usually so used to like riding the wave of emotions and having it fluctuate. But this was a time when I was feeling so horrible for so long, and I was starting to get really, really scared of like, what if it's like this forever? Like, what if I'm stuck like this? And I was starting to get really, really afraid.
In my head, but that's where I live, in between the
I'm eating healthy, I'm going on runs, I'm making my bed, I'm seeing old friends, I'm seeing new friends, my career is going well. Like, I was feeling like everything should be fine, but I just felt so horrible, and it made me feel like ungrateful for what was going on in my life. And one thing about me is that I have kind of always been very scared of the idea of going on medication, because I was really, really scared of like getting addicted or becoming reliant on something to make me happy or to make me regulated. But it got to this point, and lots of like conversations with my therapist and doctors and my family and stuff like that, where I was like, I think I need to go on medication because this like can't continue. And that's kind of where this song came from, a time when I felt like nothing I did was going to work. I felt like I couldn't see anyone without my true emotions coming through, and feeling like I was bringing down the mood with how unprovoked my depression was. I wrote the first pre-chorus and chorus right here on my bed, and then eventually I started writing these things about like wanting to stay home and not wanting to go to this party that I had for my friend that night, and how shitty I felt that I had been pulling out of so many things that week because of my mental health. I had been pulling out of work, pulling out of events to go see friends. I was just feeling so horrible. And yeah, that's where this song started. A couple months later, I headed to the US to travel around a bit with my sisters, as well as work on some music over there. And at one of these sessions, I brought this song to work on with Emily Waldron and Polanski.
I wanna know how your hair looks, soaking wet, glasses off in my bed. How does distance read?
And even though it was our first time meeting, I trusted them to take this song and do it justice, and for us to work on this song together and make it the best it could be.
It was weird because we started the year with this song, so like literally January 1st or something.
Yeah, like one of the first days of the year.
And so like, of course, you know, you don't expect to start off the year with a song that like immediately sounds that great. You don't really have faith in something like that off the bat, or at least I don't.
Yeah, I think if we're gonna go like falsetto in the chorus, then it's pull out of, I think we have the verse be kind of lower,
Yes.
in a lower register.
You gave us the song with a high capo, and you were playing it in standard.
Yeah.
And we were like, hold on, let's make this open E. And I'm glad we did, because we were able to like do all of that palm muting and stuff, like that really thick kind of guitar sound. I was only going to be able to get with an open tuning, so I'm glad we did it this way. We just like did such a great job the day of, and it's really rare that you get a song that like the day of demo sounded so good.
I loved it so much.
Say I'm not feeling well, hope you understand the mess that I am.
It was really, you know, like the whole picture was there, and it was really so special from that day. When you have that, you don't really want to mess with it too much. I think that was like the thing.
So we end up finishing up the session. I head back to Australia, and we continue to send back some demos of the song back and forth to each other. Let's do it one more time. This felt like such an intimate song about a time in my life when I felt like I was feeling really hopeless, and I didn't want the words and the message and the theme of that to be clouded by like a bunch of really abstract production. I wanted to feel very raw and touching, while also feeling like overwhelming by the time we get to the end of the song.
If you're making pop music, people really like to, you know, obviously put drums and everything, but yeah, I've heard a lot of people kind of ruin their songs with too much production or too, you know, crazy drums and a lot of stuff. So I like to keep it simple if we can. And this one was so special from the jump that I was leaning toward keeping it simple.
It's been like very scary and anxious to take these songs to people who I've never met before in a different country and be like, let's work on them.
Do you have an idea of how you want to start the song?
Well, I was thinking verse 1 could be something about like a physical mess made or like a dirty room or like making a situation worse. And then verse 2 is something about like seeing it through and not being stuck in your mind.
As a producer, I'm a vocal forward person, so like you made it really easy and you had a lot of ideas that I couldn't even come up with.
It's all in my head, that's where I live. In between the particles, I sit on my bed. It's all I sit on my bed, that's where I live. In between the particles, I sit on my bed.
Even from the first day, like the demo vocals always sounded great. I mean, let's look at the ones at the end, like...
It's all in my head, but that's where I live. In between the pile of clothes, I sit on my bed. It's all in my mind, the one I can't find. I'm losing it everywhere I go.
Like, I love that.
And hold my place. See, I'm not feeling well. Hope you understand.
I'm like a choir girl at heart, so this kind of stuff is really like, it's just really important to me.
The best that I am, doing the best that I can. In the mess where I stand, best that I can. It's the mess that I am, doing the best that I can. In the mess where I best that I.
And then it feels very vulnerable to be handing over songs and working on them with people and just trusting and I guess hoping that it'll turn out how it's supposed to and that like it won't get swayed in a different direction or end up somewhere completely different and then like I'll realize that I don't want to be there but won't say anything. I think I'm really scared of that.
This is one of my favorite little things that made it to the final cut, which is the round that we did. It literally the last minute, it was just like us standing around doing it. So I can hear, you and Riley have like similar voices, but I can hear Riley in this.
Every time I've shown someone this song, they've been like, is that you? Who was that singing?
Yes, it's just like a little bit, just a little.
Best that I can. It's the mess that I am, doing the best that I can. It's the mess where best that I can.
I love that.
I love that.
It's amazing that those things that we were rushing to complete ended up staying, and you redid all of them the same way you did them in the final vocals when you went back to re-record. I love that because it was just so great.
It's the mess that I am, doing the best that I can. In the mess where I stand.
The big vocal stacks and like the big bridges and stuff where you go crazy. I feel like it always feels very balanced. Like even if it's really like intense and gut wrenching, it always feels like I don't know, just very very clean.
I love that. I feel like we really did such a great job with the song, which I'm very happy about. And you made sure of it because you went and re-recorded all the vocals and just made them sound even better than they already did. And it's so gorgeous.
I remember trying doing that on the date with you.
Yeah.
Mess that I stand.
Then we were back and I said, let's re-record that please.
It sounded great on the day up.
It's the mess that I stand, the best that I can, the mess where best that I can.
You made it all like seem so easy and or sound so easy.
When we like started working on this, what were you leaning towards production wise?
Ooh, whatever like you wanted, I guess, is what I would have done. But what it ended up being is what I naturally would have done with it, because my instincts are probably always going to be simple and then make it have a drama ending.
I feel like one of the main things that we came back to, like after I went back to Australia, was like the little like trills that we added.
Come on, tell me.
How did you come up with those and composing them?
I really like going and looking for stuff like mandolins or ukuleles or and strings. Strings is something that like I'm really used to making string quartets with samples because I really want it to sound live, but I don't have a string quartet. Sometimes I have a violinist come in and, you know, riff and play parts over songs, especially recently we've been doing that a lot. But for a long time, I was just making string parts on my computer and I never liked the sound of virtual instruments. They always sound fake to me. So I just got really used to like taking one string sample and then building the stack and making it move and doing all these parts to it. So that's what I do with little parts like that, like mandolins and pianos. I do it with pianos too because I think virtual instruments with pianos also sound really fake. Well, first of all, love this fiddle. This is one of my favorite sounds. Love this guy. And then I have string swells like this. Love that. Then I have a harp. And then we have a string over here. It's gorgeous, right? You have all these real instruments, but they're so spaced out. They're all separate, right? There's nothing gluing them together. So I actually do have like a virtual instrument in here. I literally call it a strings fake. It's Expand. That does sort of glue them together. So it's like a string of things, no pun intended. Let me show you. This is something I do all the time. That is one grand piano bass note, right? Just hitting. I've used it in probably 100 different songs throughout the past 5 years. That same exact sample, because there is something.
That's your producer tag.
Yeah, literally. Literally. The difference between having something like that in like a chorus and having it not be in is crazy. Like it's, you never think that something so small would make such a big difference, but when I put that in here, I think it made a huge difference. He's random.
That first one I thought was my vocal. That's crazy.
That's, yeah. That's kind of what I wanted it to sound like. Just these feedback guitar textures. It adds such a harsh but beautiful like texture.
I love it. That's how you feel about it as well, because I feel like with almost every single song on this EP, I've been like, can we add some like static or like some feedback or something? So I'm like, just like certain parts, and I love that you have that same thing. I guess that's why this like feels like it fits in with this project so well.
Yep. I love that stuff. I love it so much. Yeah, there's like, there's not much in this song. It's not very complicated. Like the only parts we haven't soloed are just like the little mandolin parts, the bass that just comes
the main acoustic
in
guitar.
at the, the acoustic guitar, which just is sort of the glue for the whole thing. Yeah, it's just like, that's all it is. In my head, I was like, oh, well, I'll probably like re-record this later. It's just a demo, you know, all the things. And then I like came back to it later and I was like, wait, no, this guitar's sick. Like this is, I don't need to re-record this.
Or verse 1 is more about like the external things that are leading into this. Then we can go into the internal environment, maybe.
I like that. Yeah. There's so many tracks for such a song that feels so, I guess, like simple and bare. Yeah, sparse.
Yeah. But the real like star of the show is all of the vocals here. And in the mix and the master, like that's what's above everything as it should be. So like you're not going to hear all those intricate pieces above all of this.
Best that I can, it's the best that I am, the best that I can, the best that I can, it's the best that I am, the best that I can, the best that I can.
You know, I would play this song up against a handful of other demos to people when they were asking me like what I was working on, and this was the one that people would be like, "That one sounds so good."
That's so sweet. That's so cute.
And it was one of the simplest ones. It was like I kept saying about it that like the 10,000 hours I've done as a producer was just to do something like this right. When we rush to finish things, they can sound that good because we've done this kind of like a million times, and so it goes to show how much talent you have and we have, and how much it just like kind of came together. I could harp on it all day. I think it's so uninteresting to most people probably because it's such a like nuanced thing, but people who produce music and make music really know how hard it is to get something simple sounding really right.
I hope you like this song as much as I do, and feel free to go stream it anywhere that you listen to your music. Feel free to go follow me on socials, and my EP, Father, Son, and the Space in Between, is out October 23rd. Thanks so much.